Hello, welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz. I'll be guiding you on this journey today. And I've gone back to making like little intro videos to put at the beginning of each reading. So that's what this is. And I'm stalling because I can't remember what I was actually going to say in this intro. Memory. Anyway, okay, here we go. It's all coming back to me now. Couple things. I'm going to stick to just doing human design profile readings for the time being. I also am going to start doing readings by type as well. So, there'll be a reading for manifestors, there'll be a reading for projectors, there'll be a reading for generators and manifesting generators. I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep those in one reading for now anyway, until I feel differently about it. And then reflectors as well. So I'm going to add those readings in, but I just, a little birdie told me to stick with those. And I think, honestly, in great part because those are the readings that I actually get like a response on, and there's more engagement in those readings that I put out. And that's what I want, and being a manifesting generator myself, right? It's responding. So, instead of doing the zodiac signs and the human design profile readings, at least for the next little while, I don't know how long that'll last until a birdie tells me to do differently. And obviously that birdie is like my intuition or like my own like personal guidance, right? But that's what I'm going to do for the time being. And I think like part of why I haven't necessarily done that sooner is because I really haven't been engaging with or like super I don't know, whatever the fucking word is. Like, how annoying is that? To not be able to find the right word. I just haven't been as in the realm of human design as I have been with astrology. Like I've been spending a lot of focus on just understanding astrology, and especially like my own astrology. And so I just really haven't been engaging with a lot of human design content. Like I really haven't been keeping on top of it. So as a 5/1, I think I just feel a bit insecure about making that the prominent thing. And I honestly, I can't even say that's going to change. Like I'm not saying that like I'm going to start diving heavily back into human design just yet. I know the basics. I know all of the shit that like I did learn before. But yeah, that is the truth. That is the truth that I haven't been as on top of that as I have been on top of astrology. I mean, obviously, astrology is also included in like human design, but anyway, that would be getting into a bit of like semantics. So, from here on, for however long, I'm just going to stick to doing human design profile readings. The 333 readings are still available. Those are the only that's the only offering that I have right now. Like, I'm not doing longer form, or I'm not doing one-on-one like personal readings for the time being. I had a couple people email me about a personal reading, like a longer form personal reading, and I just don't feel called, or it just doesn't feel good for me to put energy into those for right now. For whatever reason, I mean, I do feel like I'm in this like transitionary phase, and I'm like literally in the middle of it, like that liminal space, and I just kind of feel like I need to kind of keep my energy like focused on whatever is going to unfold, like with that. And for whatever reason, it just doesn't feel good to offer, like I said, like anything basically beyond like those 333 readings. So, which is also like kind of scary, right? Like, because I'm like, ugh. I could use the money right now. I could use, really, ultimately, I could use the money right now. Like, that is the truth of it. I could use the money, but that is the only thing, like and that's not like a very good, that's not a motivator that like feels good, for me right now. So the capacity that I do have is, again, the 333 readings. The basics of that is that it's $3.33. You would Venmo me $3.33, and include your email address, and I will pull 2 cards for you. The first card would be the door, or that's basically the obstacle or the opportunity, or the thing that you are standing in front of, or the thing that you are coming up to in your life. And then the key would be the guidance or the advice, or how to work through that obstacle, or rite of passage, or whatever. And the readings that I have done on those so far, and thank you to those who have requested that offering, they have been so amazing and so cool. But it is a written reading, so you'll get a PDF with a picture of the tarot card. The interpretation that I have for it, and then any overall like thoughts or things that I kind of picked up on in those cards too. So again, like I said, the ones that I have done have been so amazing and so cool, just the way that things have unfolded. And the people who have gotten those readings, there's been great feedback from those readings as well. So thank you also for that. And I'll put, of course, an explanation of that in the description. Yeah, really quick then, because this is long as hell all of a sudden. Let me just introduce the decks that we're going to be using. The tarot deck is the Wandering Moon Tarot, and the I was going to say the affirmation deck, which I guess that it is, but the Oracle deck that we're going to be using is the Inner Fucking Peace deck, and my sister actually sent these cards to me. So yeah, let's get into the reading. Great. So this is a reading for the 2/4 human design profile, the Hermit Opportunist. If you don't know what your human design profile is, there is a link in the description for you to get your human design body graph, and your profile will be listed on there. Your type will be listed on there as well. So definitely check out those readings whenever they come out. Let's get some cards for our 2/4s. I don't take the cards that flip in the deck. I only take the cards that come out. Ah! Ah! These were operator error. This was not. We have the Nine of Swords. 2 more. Two more cards. Jeez. Hello? The Wheel of Fortune. Gosh, I was trying to say the 2 of something. I don't know. One more. The King of Pentacles, and then the new moon at the bottom of the deck. Interesting. Okay, and let's get your affirmation card, and then we'll get going. Just one. Okay, is it me? The cards are flying around, but they're just not coming out yet. Carpe fucking diem. YOLO. Oh, YOLO is like one of my favorite mottos. Okay, can we see? Can we see everything? Yeah, I mean, this whole thing kind of feels like the only thing that's holding you back is your mind. You know, which is always the case anyway. But anxiety, fears, doubts, also too just trying to think too hard about all of the ways that something could turn out. And I don't know about you, but when we get into that cycle, we're generally trying to figure out all of the ways of how something can go badly, right? And it's like a way of trying to I don't know, like comfort ourselves, or just, trying to be prepared for anything. And of course, too, I mean, like there is a fear of success too, because what does that look like? How is that going to impact my life? Like what type of person would I have to become in order to remain successful too, right? Because if I am successful in the thing, and if I am happy, if I get exactly what I want, then when is the other shoe going to drop, type of thing, right? And I'm only kind of going down this road of, those possibilities because we do have the Nine of Swords out here. And it's interesting that, we have the Wheel of Fortune in the middle, which is Jupiter. And Jupiter is, Sagittarius or Pisces, but it's been in Cancer for the last however many months, like since, is it June maybe, or May or June, one of the two. And it'll be there until I believe June or July of this year. But the Wheel of Fortune is about things changing. It's like what I also love about it being in the middle is that if you have been in a space mentally where, again, there's fear, there's doubt, there's anxiety, and there's also there's that saying that goes, if you are fearful, you're living in the past. If you are anxious, you're living in the future. So whichever emotion or whichever, sensation you're feeling, really check in with yourself and be like, if I'm fearful, am I thinking too much about a prior experience, or, I tried this before and this is how it turned out, or, I've been disappointed before, or, where do we get the idea that the other shoe is going to drop, right? Like that comes from a situation or an experience in our lives where, we were excited, we were hopeful, we were looking forward to something, and it just didn't work out. So we were left disappointed or rejected, or, just our feelings were hurt, or, but instead of just accepting that for what it was in that particular moment, we decided then to attach that to every other experience that we will ever have in our lives, right? Because that's just what our brains do, and yeah. So if you have been in this energy of just, like I said, if you're fearful, check in with yourself, like what story is playing through my mind, like what past experience is coming up for me. And if you're anxious, then where in your future are you just projecting too far out? It's like thinking too far ahead versus, and which neither one of those really exists, right? Like the past only really exists in our minds. The future really only exists in our minds. We haven't even experienced it yet. So really all that we have control over is the decisions that we make in the current moment, like right now, the decisions that we make. And we're also making the decision to live too far in the past or too far into the future, right? So, yeah, just, again, feeling overwhelmed mentally, but also, nines are individual completion too. So, there is, it's like there is an opportunity to change your mind, to change your perspective. There's that song by Sugarland called Settlin', I believe, and there's one line in that song that says she changed her mind and she changed her life. Like, because it's like, and I know this about myself because this is also, it's a practice that I have also like just been working on lately of I could 100% almost like be taken over by anxious thoughts and fear. I could be living in both. Like I could be living too far in the past and I could be living too far, into the future. Both of which are not in the present, right? But instead, I'm like, I'm not going to give any attention to those thoughts. I'm not necessarily going to try to just think of like rainbows and butterflies and, like, it could always be worse. I fucking hate that saying. Like, I hate it. But all that I know is that I'm not giving juice to anxiety or fear, because also too, I have made the majority of my decisions from anxiety or fear up to, like the last couple years of my life. And I sure have things worked out to a particular extent. Yeah, absolutely. But did I love my life in those decisions? No. Did I feel better? Did I feel more supported? Did I feel loved? No, I didn't. I was scared and I was anxious and I became impulsive then, and I just kind of took the first thing that was a source of security, and sure, did it work out? Yeah, I guess, but I fucking hated my life, So that's like the other thing too is, if that is the motivation for, like if that's what is trying to get me motivated, then I'm like, no, absolutely not. And if there's not a different answer that has presented itself yet, then I'm going to wait. So I wonder too, like if it's the same thing for you, or if you are kind of in the same situation in a certain sense. And I know I kind of started to talk about it, but I love that the Wheel of Fortune is here in the middle, because on the one side, we can see, right? Like on the left side of the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Nine of Swords. On the right side of the Wheel of Fortune, we have the King of fucking Pentacles. So I love that this is like literally, even if it is a mindset shift, it's shifting your mind from, lack or again, fear, anxiety, scarcity, like whatever it is that's, kind of keeping you trapped in a certain energy. And it's changing your mind to allow for abundance, to allow for the possibility of it too, right? Like I said with that song, I mean, maybe listen to it. I know that's like one verse in that whole song, but literally changing her mind, changed her life. And the Wheel of Fortune, it's always a good card for me, like wherever it shows up anyway, but it literally just says, however things have been. And, maybe even just because we have 3 cards out here, the Nine of Swords could be the recent past. The Wheel of Fortune could be the current energy. The King of Pentacles could be the near future. It literally is just saying, like, however things have been, they are going to change. And I love that the side of change is the King of Pentacles. Kings are the highest expression of the suit. Pentacles have to do with money, insecurity, health, energy, your physical body, material possessions, resources that you have access to. Even your own sense of worth and recognizing what you are capable of. It could be deciding to go after a promotion. It could be deciding to even change careers. It could be really focusing on your health in a practical way, right? Managing your time, your energy, and what you invest those things into. It could be investments. If you've been worried about money lately, or just, how are things going to work out? This to me feels like a positive omen that things will work out, and probably better than you imagine. And it could also just be like needing to put that crown on. Also, too, like through these readings so far, the crown chakra has it's come up a couple times. I've only done 3 readings, so, but it's never come up in any other reading. So I think there's also just a real opportunity here for people to open their crown chakra and be like almost like guided by your higher self. Like trust yourself. Like trust yourself to apply for that promotion, apply for that job, get to the gym, or, make an appointment for the doctor, or, like trust yourself to make those steps and to also like follow through with them. It's a lot of like recognizing your own power. And also too, the other thing with Pentacles is about being grounded. That's not flighty, like that's being rooted into the earth. Taking aligned action, aligned steps towards your goals. And it really is too, and maybe even part of the problem with this, not that it's a problem, but that was just a word that came out, but with this 9 of Swords is that there's not a ton of like action happening, or there's not a ton of like practical steps being made here, or even like looking at something from a practical viewpoint. What does practical even mean? Of or concerned with the actual doing or use of something rather than the theory and ideas. I'm glad I looked that up. This is theory and ideas. And the reason why, if you have been in any type of, just mindset that, again, like I keep using the word like fear and anxious. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else maybe to put those, but like not even necessarily a negative mindset. But if you have been finding yourself just really in your head, almost like spinning your wheels, or like being on the hamster wheel up in there, right? It's literally because there is not actual doing or the use of something happening. And it really is like you need to start in the physical world, start doing whatever it is. Work on your resume, start looking for jobs, start looking for places to live, start having conversations about your ideas, whatever it is. That is what is going to shift the energy. And also even this carpe fucking diem, right? And YOLO on the other side. YOLO is you only live once. Anytime I say YOLO, it's literally just like a different way of saying fuck it. Well, you only live once, right? So why not? Why not do it? Why not try? Why not change your mind? Why not see it from a way of it working out? Why not even see it as a way of working out practically instead of, maybe again, like theories and ideas, right? Like instead of thinking like magically or, whatever, like maybe start thinking about it in terms of practicality of an idea, plan, or method likely to succeed or be effective in real circumstances, feasible. Yeah. Right? Like, again, instead of, just almost like instead of waiting for it to drop on your lap type of thing, just start taking little steps. If there is a job or if there is something that you come across where you're like, man, that sounds really fucking cool, or that is actually exactly what I fucking want, but I feel like I don't have the experience or I don't have the blah, 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 whatever, we start thinking, do it anyway. YOLO. Like, do it anyway, because worst case scenario, it's a no. Best case scenario, it's a fucking yes. I'm curious what the book says about this new moon card, though. Let me see. Where even is that? Here we go. The second unique card in this deck, the new moon, is the time when the moon is not illuminated in the night sky. This is a time to retreat within and do important shadow work. The lunar darkness is a perfect time to hibernate, meditate, and take time for yourself. Shadow work is part of self-care and is crucial for healing past wounds and moving forward within a healthier relationship with yourself and your past. Embrace your shadow self, bring it into the light and illuminate it. I know we just had a new moon January 18th. We have a full moon tomorrow on February 1st. So the next new moon would be like 2 weeks after that. And that will be in Pisces? No, that will be in Aquarius? Let's see. Aquarius. So that last one must have been in Capricorn in January, which is basically the King of Swords, or the King of Pentacles. So yeah, the next new moon is on February 17th in Aquarius. We have the Justice card behind that. Yeah, I mean, something is, this Nine of Swords is the shadow work. This is, like what is available to you. This is, the shift that needs to happen. YOLO is just like, like I said, it's just like having that fucking attitude. It's literally having that sprinkle of delusion that like we all need to have, you know. 20 seconds of like delusion, you know, like just to start a conversation, just to apply for that job, just to walk into the door of the gym, or whatever that, you know. I'm just trying to like cover all my bases here. Like, you know, this card is talking about the shadow work and like the subconscious, and honoring that. And even that this silhouette is kind of in shadow, you know, it could, you know, that being aware that the stories that are coming up for you is your shadow. And again, like recognizing where they're coming from. Are they coming from a past experience? Are they coming from what you think a future experience would be? Either one of those, you know, just tell yourself that you recognize the story. You appreciate that it's coming up for you, but you're not going to allow it to stop you from making decisions that are aligned with the future or the life or the person that you want to become. And also even trusting yourself to figure it out as you go. You've gotten yourself here, right? Like, so trust yourself to figure it out as you go. Trust yourself to make tweaks as you go. We could change our mind as many times as we need to, right? Like we have endless opportunities to make decisions. Also, even, you know, your strategy and authority, right? Like, I also realize like I don't use a ton of like human design language in these readings. Your strategy and authority is literally designed to help you enter into the quote unquote correct experiences for you, and when to leave those experiences as well. So if you're not super duper familiar with your strategy and authority, do some Googling. Read some, you know, Reddit posts. Like me personally, I prefer to read other people's experience, like personal experiences, versus like reading a blog post or something. I mean, there's definitely benefits in blog posts too, but I want to hear multiple people who are all projectors, and I want to hear how that energy works for them specifically, not just waiting for the invitation and blah, blah, blah. Like I know for me, when I come across a projector, even like if I don't even know they are a projector, if I start having the thought of I didn't ask you, I'm like, oh, they must be a projector. Who else? Like I've only come across a couple manifestors, and if I'm just kind of like, what the fuck? You know, not in a bad way, but oh my gosh. And if you try to ask a manifestor a question, you know, like and if they don't answer, I'm like, okay, you must be a manifestor. Like I'm a manifesting generator, right? So like I have an idea of how that energy works for me, and I know a good amount of, you know, generators or manifesting generators, since I mean there's they are like the most people, but I don't think I know personally any reflectors. But yeah. Anyway, like I said, like, you know, if you're not familiar with your strategy and authority, Google it and put Reddit behind it. Read, you know, like read about somebody else's experience, and then recognize how that resonates with you and how it works for you, and then just start experimenting if you haven't already. And if you have already been experimenting, just, you know, like keep an eye on making sure that things go through the filter of your strategy and authority. Because like I said, like things are trying to, and they will level out here for you. There's a balancing thing that is in the works here. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.